Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Gonna be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the
Friggin' what up, dude? Fired up for another ep of History is Dank right now, dude. We got an extra special treat, and you already know it because you are literate and you read the title. We've got a guest today. JF Harris is in the house.
What up, everybody?
Honored to have you. JF is a hilarious comedian. We met doing a show in Santa Barbara, which is, what a great city,
Oh
dude.
my God, that was amazing.
The vibes. It was a little chilly that night, I remember.
It was. I was wearing a heavier jacket, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that the worst when it's not enough? You layer up and you go, I'm still, what is wrong? How did our ancestors, we're a history podcast, how did our ancestors even deal with this?
Yeah, just to think that at some point people decided to like live in parts of the Midwest without like actual heat.
Yeah.
Every time I think about that, I'm like, these people are fucking insane.
So gnarly. I guess that's where the resources were. It's like they had to go, like that's where you get to
Florida
kill a buffalo.
Florida had resources.
Oh, Florida. Oh yeah, you're originally from Florida, correct?
No, I'm a New Yorker.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
Staten Island, New York, but my parents are classic retired New Yorkers who are snowbirds, so they split between New York.
Love that. And
Fort Myers.
I should know that because we're going to be discussing some of your hometown or island, hint, hint, in a little bit. But I'm glad we brought up Florida because your recent special that you just recorded and released.
Just dropped. I shot in St. Pete, Florida, which is like kind of like, it's a really cool city. Like, I didn't know anything about it, and then I went there, and it's kind of like if Miami and Austin had a baby.
Oh, baby, that's a nice marriage right there.
Yeah, it's like half of the people want to be like in Dr. Dog, and the other half want to be Instagram influencers.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, I like this vibe.
That's like maybe the little small part of Miami Wynwood. You ever hang out in Wynwood?
Yeah. Wynwood's dope with the art walls and the Panther coffee.
Yeah.
Is where you go for coffee.
I'm a big coffee guy. I'm not just I'm a big coffee guy.
Same here. I do pour over every day in my home.
I French press.
Yeah.
I love that ritual.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just nice. It's meditative. So I'm fired up, dude. I watched your special. Hilarious. Guys,
you.
Check it out. You can get it. Go to YouTube. Go to All Things Comedy's YouTube page. Watch it.
If you're watching this episode right now on All Things Comedy's YouTube page, you're already where you need to be.
Yeah, you're there. You're there. So you took the shortcut. Fired up. We're just speaking of your special. I love a lot of shit that you're saying just about like being in your 30s now. I'm a guy in my 30s. I have this theory that when you get to your 30s, you get something called the download, where it's you just know, like, when a steak's done, when it needs to be flipped. Like these skills just come about.
It's not even that. It's just you have done it. You've burnt 20 steaks.
That's it. Yes.
You've just had the life experience to go like, oh, whatever the fuck I'm worried about doesn't actually matter. Mm-hmm. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to do whatever the hell needs to get done. I'm going to go to the dentist.
Amen, man. Hey, yeah, exactly. You're like, fuck it, dude. I'm probably gonna get LASIK at one point. I see you have eyewear contacts.
Yeah.
I want a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And I'm in my 20s. You mentioned this. I love your joke where you're like, I forget what you were talking about, but you're like something costs like $60K, and you're like, that's rounding up all the money I made in my 20s by like $50K.
Weddings.
Oh yeah, dude.
Weddings, like the average cost of a wedding in New York City is $60,000.
That is so stupid, dude.
Yeah. Because like nobody gives a shit about the appetizers at your wedding. People only care about one thing at a wedding, and it's the open bar.
1,000,000%. My fiance and I are planning a wedding. We, in fact, we're having so little fun planning it. Literally, we would go to this space. We'd both go, oh, and like just start watching our show. We postponed it a year. We're doing it at the courthouse.
Fuck yeah. That's the way to do it.
Boom.
And you know what you do for after that? This is what I did. I had a courthouse wedding, and then we had like a ceremony. We rented a basketball gymnasium that was attached to a church. We got 7 kegs of beer, went to Costco, bought all the booze, had a friend DJ. One of my friends was a photographer. We invited 350 people, and we got it catered from a grocery store called Top Tomato that had like amazing food, and the whole thing cost under 10 grand with her dress, with engagement ring, the whole thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And we just threw a party.
And putting it in a gym is a great call because you kind of tap into that nostalgic, like,
Yeah.
prom vibe.
100%.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm also
genius.
divorced, so that's
Hey,
why,
you know, look,
basketball gymnasium maybe not the best move. But
People grow. People grow. People change. You know what I mean? People make mistakes.
they do make mistakes. Getting married in your 20s is one of them.
Dude, look, I've been with my fiance. She's the best for 9 years. You know
That's
what I mean?
how you do it. Every one of my friends who has been with their partner for like 10 years, 9-10 years, and then get married, they're all together. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
People who are together like 4 years, and it's like, you got to get married. It's like, you're out of your fucking mind.
I know. And you know what it is? It's so much for, and sorry we're ranting, and if the audience is whatever, but like, it's not for you. Like, the wedding in your 20s is for grandparents and parents and the external pressure. It's like, dude, fuck that, bro. I'm just trying to have a good time. Like, aren't we here to celebrate us?
If I ever get married again, we're having a nice dinner, inviting some friends over. Come back to my house. We'll put some records on. If people want to get up and dance, knock yourself out.
Best thing I ever heard
I'll
of.
roll the rug up.
I have a friend, his name's Hal, a great guy, comedian. He's super funny. And he's like, he got married, and I think like, he's in his 40s. I think he got married like, you know, a few years back now, maybe his late 30s, 40s. He's like, him and his wife did a courthouse thing. They got a hotel room. They basically gave themselves a little mini honeymoon for a wedding, just them two.
Yeah.
And they're like, great. They had a great time. Then they came back, had a little party with their friends.
That's all you need to do.
Boom. So
If you're in LA, go over to Eatondale. Hang out on the back patio.
exactly. And look, if you're out there and you like the big thing, you like your tradition. I like tradition, but I don't want to be
get
bogged by it.
Yeah, 100%. First wedding, go for it. If you want to have the big first
wedding number one. Exactly.
knock it out of the
dude,
park.
exactly.
First wedding is for getting those envelopes,
Yes.
shaking hands, kissing babies. Second wedding's about you.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. And maybe that's a renewing of a vow if you guys are still together later down the road. Maybe do something like that. Anyway, dude, we're fired up to have you here, JF.
Dude, I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for being here. And I'm excited to be talking about Staten Island.
The slums of Shaolin.
Real quick, big shout out to Trade Coffee, dude. Trade Coffee partners with the country's best craft roasters, dude, to give you the freshest and best tasting coffee. Trade customers are truly impactful for these independent roasters, dude. That's what gets me fired up, dude. Local biz, dude. I'm able to help a local biz from afar. That just fires me up, dude. So I'm all about supporting the local economy in small towns and you know, while living in a big city. So Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Go to drinktrade.com/dank and take their quiz to find coffee you love. Dude, I'm learning this. My family's from Bridgeport. They call that maybe the 6th borough.
Yeah.
Staten Island is like maybe if we're going by ranking, the 5th borough.
It is
or
the 5th.
Is it even?
It's the 5th and forgotten.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, and a lot of people would be like, is that even New York? And it's like, fuck you. My dad was a New York City firefighter. My grandfather built most of the shit in Manhattan. He was an iron worker. Everybody who lives there are the people who run the subways, pick your trash up, put your fires out, keep the streets somewhat safe.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
You know, so it's like when everyone's like, that's not real New York, it's like, all right, fuck you. You're from Nebraska. You lived here 2 years.
Dude, it's more real New York. It feels the most New York because it's like, just like you mentioned, it's the people that keep the city running. And they've had this, at least just through my research, like this tumultuous past of, are they actually like legitimately part of the city?
Yeah.
Or are they not? Because it is an island, so it is like geographically separated. So
Yeah.
it's weird a little bit.
Yeah.
I got this for context.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
what
Boom.
a beast, dude.
Look at that.
Here we go. Hey, if you're driving, look at your phone. No, I'm kidding. If you're watching on YouTube, check this out. Aaron, this is great.
Yeah, this is another thing too. Just looking at the scale of this map, Staten Island is the size of like 4 or 5 Manhattans.
Yes.
It's massive. The population of Staten Island is 600,000 people.
Insane.
So it's like the size of, say, San Francisco or Boston.
And Manhattan is like, how many people live in Manhattan? Probably like a mill?
No, way more. I think New York, Manhattan proper, I think is like, I want to say like 5.
Jeez.
Yeah, but it could be 8, as high as 8. But I think it's 5.
That is gnarly. Literally, the only thing I knew about Staten Island before doing this episode, which is why I'm so happy to have you here and why it's good to have new relationships and talk with people, because you learn and you grow. I literally only knew that fucking Staten Island had a ferry just from like watching The Dark Knight.
You mean this one?
Let's go, dude. Look at this.
Dog, right there. Oh, in, out. Which way am I going? I'm going in.
Yeah. Oh, we're looking at a tattoo.
5 burrow class. That's the first Staten Island ferry right there.
That's like, so there used to be this thing with the ferry where they like really boned over the city of New York boned over the people of Staten Island by charging a fee.
Yes, big time.
Now it's free. Is that correct?
100% free to ride that boat.
But it was,
take that booze cruise. Why go to the Statue of Liberty and wait 7 hours in line to go see the Statue of Liberty when you can get on the ferry for free every 15 to 30 minutes and have a beer and watch it go by and get beautiful views of the city, and it don't cost shit.
That's a genius call, because you're technically getting, like you're not getting like a yacht experience, but who doesn't want to party on a boat?
Oh my God.
And you can kind of have your own little party on a boat.
100%. My original pitch for my bachelor party was I just wanted to have it on the ferry and go back and forth and have beers all night.
That's a great call.
My cousins shot it down and they were like, you can't do that. You know?
Yeah, technically you might get like a drinking consumption in public ticket or something like that.
No, you're legal. It's legal to drink on the Staten Island ferry. They used to sell booze. They stopped selling booze and food during COVID on the boat proper, but you can still buy a beer in the terminal, take it on the boat with you. Tall boys galore.
Dude, let's go. This is the best thing I've ever heard of in my life.
It's a fun Staten Island's a fun place.
Dude, it seems great.
I wouldn't go. It is in certain ways, and it's trash in others.
Yeah, well, literally, and maybe we should talk about that now. Let's just get it out of the way. Literally, the largest man-made structure by volume is that dump.
Staten Island dump, baby. Here's the other thing too. As a kid, that's all you'd ever hear about. It'd be like Staten Island dump, Staten Island church.
Yeah.
But it's been closed for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
But there were only 2, or maybe it's not 20, but it's roughly around 20. So you almost don't hear about it anymore. But the smell when I was a child, because it was right by the Staten Island Mall, and you would go to the mall in the summer, and you would like run from wherever you parked your car into the mall at like top speed, because the smell would be so horrific in the summer.
Oh my, that is so gnarly, dude.
Yeah, you know, like when you like don't realize something's in your fridge.
Yes.
For like a year, and then you find it, and you're like, oh, that, and you open it up, and you get hit with that smell.
Yes.
Imagine that smell, but hot.
Oh my, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is very real. That is very real.
I just thought about how
yeah.
sick
Oh,
I just
dude.
probably made some people.
Yeah, exactly, dude. If you're driving, just throw up, keep going. This area is Snug Harbor.
Yeah.
Is that a cool area now? Or is this still kind of sketchy? Because it was made for like aged sailors.
Yeah, one of my buddies had his wedding there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really the actual Snug Harbor itself. So Snug Harbor, for anyone who doesn't know, which is probably most people, is it was like a retirement like hospital community for longshoremen who would work on tugboats and do stuff like that, who in their older age
Question for you.
couldn't take care of themselves. Yes.
A longshoreman. This is a title, an occupation that I hear about like in every movie or whatever.
Yeah.
What exactly does a longshoreman do? I gotta say, I don't fucking even know.
So a longshoreman's like a dude who works on like a boat that would move, like a tugboat, a guy who's like a tugboat. My dad used to be a longshoreman. So my dad, before he became my dad's only had the manliest jobs ever. My dad went from tugboat, being a longshoreman on a tugboat. He used to work on like garbage barges and shit like that, like hauling stuff like up and down the Hudson River and stuff like that. And then one of them, my mom was pregnant with my sister. One of them caught on fire, which would happen from time to time. Yeah. And my dad was like, okay, this is too dangerous. So he took a job being a New York City bus driver, did that for a while. And then he hated that. So then he went back to fire and became a fireman.
Your dad's the man, dude.
I know. It's pretty
dude,
wild.
Your dad, I'm just imagining
my
the
dad's
grip
like
strength that he has.
Oh
dude.
my God, it's crazy. My dad is a Billy Joel song or like a Bruce Springsteen
yeah,
song.
100%,
You know?
dude. Which technically Staten Island is more connected to Jersey. I was reading facts like the bridges built to Jersey.
Yeah, we got 3 bridges to Jersey. We got the Goethals, the Verrazano, and the Bayonne.
Yep.
And then we got 1 bridge to New York, which is, or I'm sorry, the Verrazano goes to Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's the Verrazano Narrows Bridge.
Goethals, Bayonne. Oh, maybe that's it.
I think
No, Goethals, Bayonne, Outer Bridge.
Yep.
So those are our 3 bridges.
Which was put together. Those 3 bridges were there much longer than the Verrazano Narrows, which basically is like
Verrazano Narrows is a fucking scam.
right.
I love it. I mean, it's one of the 2 ways off the island into the city when you're a kid. But the Verrazano Bridge, I don't know if you got this in your history, but it was built and they had tolls put on it, and it was supposed to only have tolls till the bridge was paid off. And the tolls never went away, and it's like the most expensive toll bridge in the country. It costs $20, I think now, or it was $20 to cross it. But they just split it up now, where it's $8, and it used to only be one way. Now it's $8 each way to cross it. But if you got an easy pass, you're a Staten Island resident, you get a discount. But still, criminal.
It is criminal, dude. It's insane. Like,
Yeah.
they talk about freedom and infrastructure, like to go where you want. Like you're literally taxing me every time
100%.
I go to work.
The best was I used to have a buddy who was he worked for Port Authority. He was a Port Authority cop. So
Badass.
he ran one of the toll booths, so you could text him on your way and be like, "Hey, what lane are you in?"
Dude,
And
that's
just
awesome.
Let you go through.
Also, a great detail in the movie Coyote Ugly that John Goodman works the toll. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And also, she's taking a job at a bar, a risque bar. And have you seen her apartment in that movie?
It's probably like
Vaulted ceilings, 15 feet. This is New York. I'm like, what? Just sell your apartment.
Yeah.
Let any dude, charge the Australian dude that you're falling in love with to live there.
Yeah.
Like,
I think must have been like 2001 Williamsburg.
yeah, it sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Dude, what were you saying about longshoremen? I cut you off because I needed to know what it was. But
so it's basically just anyone who works, who's like not the skipper, but every other job on a boat, you're a longshoreman. And even I think the skipper would fall in the longshoremen's union. But like, so it's, boat dudes. Because Staten Island is an island, so there's like a large part of it, of the coast is like shipping stuff. So it's like, they move rock salt, they move, other things that you move with a boat that I can't think of at the
hard
moment.
resource and trash. Well, also maybe I was going to ask you this: your dad ever tell any story? Any bodies? He ever see anything gnarly, like any Tony Soprano?
I never heard of any of that kind of stuff. I mean, he's seen bodies, but that's all like fire department,
Right.
wild ass fire department shit.
That I could only imagine.
Yeah.
Was he a firefighter? Was he a fighter in 2001?
Yeah, he was at 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So anyone who says Staten Island's not New York, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. And it is. And maybe we can talk about this a little bit, where in the history you have this, like from like the 1860s, there was some vote to, because Staten Island was treated poorly by New York City, the plumbing situation going on, like the sanitation, funny enough, was like the infrastructure was shit. And they were like, if we become part of the city, we'll get more funding and they'll fix some of this stuff.
Nice.
And there was a vote, and it like very narrowly passed. Like people, Staten Islanders didn't want it. And then New Yorkers kind of didn't want it, but it did get done by a narrow margin. So it became part of the city.
And it's great.
And
yeah, for a long time too, before they built the Verrazano Bridge, it was in like the 1920s and 30s, it was a big vacation spot for people from New York City. They would take the ferry over, and they would go to like South Shore, Midland Beach, which is like the neighborhoods my parents were from.
Mm-hmm.
And those were like you see those like old timey films of like people on roller coasters at the beach and riding, like that's where it was in New York.
oh wow,
Like people would go to Coney Island, or they would go to the boardwalk on Staten Island.
classic destination.
Yeah, and then it eventually all burned down at some point in like the
Really?
50s or 60s. Yeah, maybe even the 70s, but yeah. And then they just didn't rebuild it for years.
I just feel like there was always some sort of big ass fire going on or some changing event.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, when did that dump open? The 50s, I think, right? That big
I wouldn't-
dump. Oh, no, I think it was like World War II. I think it was like 49 or 50. I think I looked that up. And then Giuliani ended up closing it down.
Yeah.
Great American.
Fucking lunatic.
Dude.
I've met him.
Have you really?
Yeah, my dad won the Brooklyn. My dad won. He didn't win it. He was given the Brooklyn Citizen Medal, which is like the second or third highest honor you can get as a New York City firefighter.
Badass.
Yeah, because he like pulled like he pulled a dude out of a burning car garage and then like went back in and like pulled 2 more people out and then the building blew up.
What?
Yeah, like movie shit.
Oh my God.
And he got the Brooklyn Citizen. So when he did that, I got to go to Medal Day because once a year they do Medal Day where they give out all the medals. And I got to meet Giuliani. And somewhere in my parents' house, there's a photo of little fat me in my it was a hot day and I'm wearing like one of those sateen like FDNY jackets. With my dad's old firehouse was Ladder 114. And their slogan was, every firehouse has like a nickname and a slogan and like its own logo.
Love that.
And theirs was like Tally Ho, and it was like a coyote, like in a full fucking,
Dude,
or a fox in a full firefighter getup with like an axe over his shoulder, and it had like a little Irish shamrock on it.
That's so sick.
So it's like little fat me in that jacket, like bawling sweat next to Giuliani, who's also bawling sweat, my dad. This is pre-hair dye, though, so he was in good shape.
Still has a comb over, though.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Still probably had a comb over.
Oh, 100% comb over. Giuliani's had a comb over since 1982.
I have a bit of a population correction.
Oh, great, good.
Baby.
Yeah, so Staten Island, 500,000 people as of 2020.
Whoa.
According to
okay.
Wikipedia.
We might have lost some people.
Yeah. Manhattan, 1.9 million.
1.9.
Hey,
okay.
damn, I mean, that's
I'm
like
way
basically
off.
2.
The
Yeah.
Bronx, 1.4. Let's see. And then Brooklyn, 2.7 million.
That makes sense.
And Queens, 2.4.
So what's...
Totaling 8.8.
8.8. Okay.
My gosh.
Yeah, and that's the 2020...
Yeah.
The most recent census.
Yeah.
Which we lost people. New York, it was the first year they've ever lost people was this census.
This actually leads us into... speaking of people that run New York City and
Bloomberg?
work on it, and the people. Oh wait, we can talk Bloomberg. I was going to even go farther back to this guy Robert Moses. Do you know Robert Moses?
Yeah, Robert Moses is a piece of shit.
Huge piece of shit. So he's basically responsible for a lot of white flight. He wanted car culture. He could have designed the city way fucking better.
He designed the city in a way to keep black people in black neighborhoods.
Correct.
He
created like an overpass.
Yeah, overpasses on the LIE in
Yeah.
Long Island so that they couldn't, so public buses couldn't get out to Long Island to keep black people out of parts of Long Island.
Correct. So a known racist.
Guy's trash. But that being said, also is the guy behind Central Park. So
It's a beautiful planning.
yeah.
Another guy that was behind that we discovered here was like some Civil War general. I'm forgetting his name now, but he was also a schmoll. Who sometimes we refer to schmolls as people who are just their vibe is off.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying let's go left. He's like, nah, dude, we got to turn right. Everyone wants to have an '80s theme party. He's like, but dude, what about the '60s? You're like, yeah, they're cool, but we're having
what
a
are we
fucking
doing?
'80s theme party.
Yeah.
Come on, what are we gonna do with all this cocaine?
Yeah,
sure,
we got to dance to Depeche Mode, buddy.
Yeah,
Get
dude,
your shirt off.
Exactly, bro. Put on some shades and let's go. Okay, we're wearing board shorts. We're playing volleyball. The guy just doesn't get it. So that's kind of what, if you hear me say schmoll, what I mean. And Robert Moses was that. And then
He's
some.
the biggest piece of shit.
And I didn't learn about him until researching this episode.
Yeah.
Also, other pieces of shit. We can talk about Bloomberg. What were you going to say about Bloomberg?
Oh, I'm a big Mike fan. I know
Okay.
some people don't like Bloomberg, but at the time, everybody whoever's the mayor at the time in New York City, nobody likes you.
Yeah.
And then depending on who you are except for Giuliani, because he had 9/11, and then people are like, he's a good guy. And now everyone's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude,
But Bloomberg,
exactly, bro.
everyone hated not everyone hated, but a lot of people didn't like Bloomberg. And now in retrospect, everyone was like, oh, Bloomberg was pretty great. Like, people used to be mad that he was like putting in bike lanes and trees. And everyone in retrospect is like, oh, I guess that was okay.
Yeah, those are kind of nice.
Yeah,
It's
those
just
are
like,
nice things to have in your city.
It just slows things down for a little. Like the change element of it sucks, where you're like, why the fuck is this road closed? And
Yeah.
there's enough trees in Central Park already. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Do you find, growing up in Staten Island, how would you distinguish the vibe? Now, you mentioned it's the people that keep the city running. What's the vibe of Staten Island? I'm not a New Yorker. I hear hipsters, Brooklyn, Manhattan.
So New York Staten Island is like 3 or 4 different places combined. So like where you are on the island will have drastically different vibes.
Love hearing this. Okay.
So like we said, it's 500,000 people, and it's 12 by 12 miles wise.
Yes.
So it's like or maybe it's 12 by 6.
It's close. It's like 13 point something. 13.9 miles long and 7.3 miles wide.
There we go.
It's like a little triangle.
Yeah. So where I went to high school is this place called Port Richmond High School, which is like it was a high school in like a Mexican hood neighborhood that like would shipping kids from the more of the middle of the island, like the rich Jewish neighborhood by the mall. Those kids would come to my school. The more hood African American neighborhood, Snug Harbor, would get shipped into Port Richmond as well. They would bus in, and then kids from my like middle class, blue collar Irish neighborhood would like walk there because we were walking distance. We were like, so that's who's there. You know what I mean? There's not like one. And then on the far end of the island is all that like Jersey Shore, Guido,
yes,
like all that like fist bumping Nissan Maxima blowout that like New York is kind of known for, that Staten Island's kind of known for, like Jersey Shore trash people.
Yes.
That's that part of the island. So it's like you have those 4 groups of people all cohabitating pretty close together. So like where I grew up, it was all like Danny boys and like Irish pubs and like next to but everyone mixes together because you all go to high school together unless you go to one of the private Catholic high schools.
Right. Pretty similar, not, I wouldn't say as wide of a variety, but maybe Orange County, growing up there, somewhat similar. Like you have, North Orange County, Santa Ana, Anaheim, way different vibes than like a South Orange County, like, your quote, Orange Curtain, Republican, like Newport Beach, very different.
That's the other thing too. Staten Island is the only part of New York City that goes red in elections. So it's like, I would say Staten Island is like 70 or maybe 65% Republican and like 45% Democrat. It's like the kind of like union workers who don't realize that being a Republican isn't good for their for the right reasons. It's a lot of like Reagan Republicans, like people who were tricked into being Republicans because they heard the song Born in the USA and didn't realize it was an anthem about against Vietnam War. They just heard the chorus and they were like, I'm American.
Like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
dude, I'm a little guilty of that. Like I hear, like I'm get fired up on the fact, like when I hear a jet go overhead at stadiums,
dude, it's tight.
I'm like, let's fucking go. But then I'm also like, I'm about to pay $19 for a hot dog and pee out of my butt. You know, like there's always like, and also like, why is this happening? You know, it's like, it's weird. I get there's like ancient Greek Olympics and like there's been nationalism in sports. I understand that.
I mean, that's all sports.
It's ingrained.
It's just fucking, it's like my little team is going to go to war against your little team. Yes. I don't follow sports, but I am a Mets fan and I wear a Mets hat, and it's part of it is just to let people know I'm from New York, but I'm not a Yankees fan.
I like that. Yeah, they say, what is it? Jets, Mets? And then
I'm Jets, Mets, Nets.
Nice.
I know, because the Nets were because Jersey is close, and the Nets were. It's literally over the bridge. It's quicker to get to the. It was quicker to get to the Brendan Byrne Arena, which is, I don't know what it's called now, but that's where the Nets and the Devils played when I was a kid.
I loved the Devils, dude.
I'm a Rangers fan. '94, we won the championship. It was a very big deal for me. We were super into hockey. We knocked over mailboxes. We were very excited.
You got to destroy stuff. I mean, when your team wins, you just got to go destroy stuff.
Yeah, we were. I think I was in 5th grade. We went out of our minds.
Let me ask you something, and this is something that I've been meaning to do as an adult. I think we should bring back TPing. Like, you got to TP someone. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm on board with that.
It's you get your neighbor. Like, never mind going on Facebook getting after. Like, just go TP someone.
Yeah, you're not actually damaging anything. That's good, clean fun.
Don't egg, because egg you can mess up paint. You're wasting the food.
Yeah.
You can even use a biodegradable TP these days. They sell that.
Yeah.
You know, might hit you in the wallet a little harder, but you're sending a message. When you TP someone, it sends a message.
Yeah.
And then you can even drive by the next day, watch them clean it up. It was the best, dude.
Oh, that's funny.
In high school, there was this girl named Rachel Brady, and like she was pretty popular, and we would just TP her because her mom got involved in it, and like she'd be like, don't, and she knew that we TP'd her, and we'd blame this other kid named Jeff, and
fucking Jeff.
And we'd dude, fucking Jeff, bro. And she called Jeff, and she's like, oh, and Jeff ratted us out. And so every weekend, I swear, like for like months straight, we would TP Rachel Brady's house.
That's hysterical.
And it was brutal, dude. And like, their brother one time, like she had an older brother who was like, "I'm gonna beat your guys' ass."
Yeah.
Like, and he literally chased us in his car.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
it got pretty gnarly at some points, but no fisticuffs. And we did
that's
end up
good.
having to clean it up at one point, though, which sucked.
Yeah.
Parents got involved, yeah.
Yeah, we used to do like egging and shit like that, but we wouldn't
Yeah.
egg people's houses. You'd hit like other people.
Yeah.
But I remember like Halloween, you hit a certain age in New York and it goes from like fun to like dangerous real quick.
For sure. This is like now the purge.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is the night you got to just fucking look out. You know,
Totally,
it's like,
dude.
do you still want to go out right now?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, what is Halloween like on Staten Island? Like, is it kind of sketch?
It's wild. Yeah, well, we used to go to like, so my neighborhood was like really nice for it and fun. We'd go around, but also I had an older cousin, Danny, who lived near my high school in that like a little bit of a rougher neighborhood. So we'd like go over there because he was my older cousin. It was like fun. Like that's the neighborhood the first time I was ever robbed in. You know what I mean? I was in like 5th grade and got robbed at knife point. You know?
Wow. Dude, that's freaking scary. Knock on wood, I haven't been robbed yet.
Oh, damn.
Someone's yelled, "Give
You'll
me
get
your
got.
phone." Yeah,
Yeah.
I will. I'm just
No,
waiting.
honestly, you probably won't because you're a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
You don't look like a person who'd be easy to rob. You know, like when I was younger, I was like a fat kid. Like now, if somebody, and I, now from that and like getting jumped a bunch when I was a kid, like my head's on a swivel and I don't give off like I'm a friendly person, but also when I'm walking by myself, I purposely give off a don't fuck with me vibe.
Yeah. Which I think you can I think maybe that's a big credit to why people feel like New Yorkers are maybe rude or not. But if you talk to New Yorkers, they're nice.
100%. People say the same thing about Parisians.
Yeah.
If you go talk to people about France, they're like, oh, they're so rude. They're so. It's like, no, they got shit to do. Their apartment's expensive. They're on their way to their job. They have somewhere to be. They don't have time to like speak to you while you yell at them in English. And the same thing, like New Yorkers are like, all right, buddy, keep it moving. But if you ask a New Yorker, like, hey, I'm lost, can you tell me? They'll get off the train and show you where to go.
Yeah.
They got an unlimited swipe Metro card. They can get up, point you in the direction, get back on the train.
100%. And in the New Yorkers' defense, if you're lost in New York, you got problems because it's on a fucking number system.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
like the
grid.
numbers get bigger that way and smaller that
Yeah.
way. Like maybe in an avenue, like maybe Madison to like Broadway or whatever, maybe.
Yeah, and then if there's no numbers, you're in Chinatown or Alphabet City.
Yep.
Or the Lower East Side. And if you're in the Lower East Side, like LES, chances are you're either looking for some bomb-ass pizza or you need to get out of that neighborhood because you shouldn't be buying heroin. Heroin is bad for you.
Dude, that's amazing. If you get lost in LA, you got excuses.
I mean, not everyone's got Google Maps on their phones.
That is
There's
true.
like
That is true. That is very true.
I don't know, guys. I look at this map and I go, "Where's the ocean?" I am so confused.
I got to tell you. What's Nassau County? What's going on there?
Nassau County. That's Long Island.
Okay.
That's Long Island. So that's so Staten Island's Richmond County.
Yeah, Richmond. Yep.
Brooklyn. I don't know what the other counties are, but those are all them. Westchester County up there. But where the ocean is if the tip of Staten Island is north, so the furthest part that points towards Manhattan, that's where the ferry terminal is, and that points north. So if you're on any of that east coast on the right-hand side, that out to the right, that's the ocean. So also if you look at Queens and see that yellow strip, that's the Rockaways, which is where all the beaches and stuff are, and that's all out towards the ocean too. So this is New York City, but New York City if it was laying on its side.
Yep. That always confused me.
There's actually a really cool map of Los Angeles broken into
I've seen that. Like
New York City.
like matching the vibes.
and it's 100% accurate. Like the first time I ever saw it, I was like, holy shit, that's the perfect definition.
Okay, if you sign off on that, because I saw it and I was like, I don't
100%.
know if this is actually okay.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron checks that out. Thank you, Aaron. You're a beast. I talked about consolidation, right? This was like the 1890s or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you have this secession movement in like the 90s where like literally the vote got passed for Staten Island to become its own city and not be a part of New York City, but like then it had to get like ratified or some shit by like state legislation, and they just haven't done it. So like it's literally in limbo.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Because too many people, like, they're too intertwined.
That's exactly. And you mentioning the city as being like the people that keep it running, like they would have to do so much paperwork to be like who gets paid by who now, what firefighter gets paid by what.
Well, and most of the firemen, like in order to be a city employee of New York for like cops, sanitation, fire department, EMS, you have to live within the 5 boroughs or some other designated areas that are like just within reach. Like you can be a Port Authority cop and live in New Jersey because it's the ports between the two. But like for the most part, you can get up to as far as like Yonkers, parts of Westchester maybe, but you can't get too far away. You can't be like a cop who lives upstate. You can't live in Jersey. It's just how it is.
I think it's a good move. You would want to have someone
in
your community who's vested.
Boom.
All right, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, Staten Island is the valley, or kind of the deeper valley.
I live right on the border of Queens and Staten Island.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's a great place to live. That's where you're going to get all the best ethnic foods.
Dude.
Staten Island, huge Sri Lankan population. You want good Sri Lankan food? Staten Island's where you go.
Dude, let's go. One of my coworkers is Sri Lankan, and he'll invite us over after golf. Dude, he loves golfing. Amazing food, bro.
Dude,
amazing.
It's so good.
He's nice too. He's like you can't handle the Sri Lankan spice. I'll make it like for a spice level that you
100%. I walk in and they're just like medium spicy, and I'm like white spicy.
Dude, exactly, bro.
Yeah.
I need that white spicy for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Dude, that's amazing. That map is so right. The studio's technically in Queens. We're in Queens right now.
Yeah. We're in Queens, which makes sense. This is the working boroughs class. This is the Amy Leon Dior.
Los Feliz is where I live, baby. I'm in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I'm
same
fucking
thing.
hip.
East side.
Oh, we're both hip.
Yeah, we're in Los Feliz too. We're on the east side. The east side, you're Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. I remember when I first moved to LA, like 7-8 years ago. I remember like sitting in Intelligentsia, having a coffee, talking to somebody else who just moved from New York. They were also people from Brooklyn. I was like, yep, this is where it is. This is where everybody migrated.
Dude, makes total sense. I've even heard people from New York, and maybe you can agree with this. You know where the UCB theater is? Not the big one that was on Sunset, but like the original one on Franklin.
Yeah.
They're like, that little block right there feels like, they're like, this kind of feels like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Just that little block.
Yeah, 100%. You got your used bookstore, your art theater, your little cool
the gourmet
restaurant.
market right there.
Yeah.
Dude, good spot, good block.
Love it.
That's a great area. I love our area.
And then right across the street,
Scientology Center. I mean, they got those everywhere, baby.
Which, Jeff, meaning to get you here, I would like you to come in and take a nice...
I'm cool. I'm tight.
Dude, I have friends who are like, dude, let's go get brunch at the Scientology Center. It's free. I'm like, there's no free lunch. Haven't you ever heard that?
There's no free anything.
Yeah, you're paying a fucking price. Like, no, I'm not going there and giving my information to anybody. Current New York Mayor Eric Adams.
Yeah.
What's your take? What's going on? Do people hate him now because he's current?
I think people are just like, all right, this is the guy we're dealing with.
Yeah.
I think he's very funny. I love Chris Redd's impression of him on SNL. I think Chris is fucking nailing it. He's like a very like I'm tough and this is how I'm gonna run New York, kind of like I'm a New Yorker vibe.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, buddy, turn down the fucking machismo a little bit.
Yes.
It's like you're a business official, not a fucking open mic rapper.
Dude, exactly. Bro, this whole thing of like people wanting like voting for someone like, man, I feel like I could have a beer with this guy, or I feel like that. It's like,
that's the last person I want any position of power.
I don't want to have a beer with my boss or whatever.
I don't want to hang out with Bloomberg.
Yeah. No, I want them to be good at their fucking job.
Math. Dude. It's people who should know how to do math.
Correct. Exactly, bro.
They're number crunchers. Figure out what we need to do. Figure out budgets.
Details people. Get them like part of like.
Give me a Cory Booker. That's
dude,
the perfect.
Yes.
That's the perfect happy medium. I love Cory Booker so much. Harvard grad, smart dude, also knows how to be a person. Mm-hmm. He's a little nerdy. So it's like, okay, I trust that you're just nerdy enough that you know what you're talking about.
100%.
Rhodes Scholar.
This is what I like.
Mayor of Newark. He was the mayor of Newark, our neighboring mayor.
Let's go.
One year we got hit with a blizzard super hard when he was the mayor. He was having people tweet at him where they were snowed in, and he would show up, shovel people out, and like give people Pampers and stuff like that. That dude's the mayor. The man. He fought Nazis. Like,
let's go, dude.
Also dating Rosario Dawson.
Hot.
Bro, this
Yeah.
guy's the man. Let's go. What a
Yeah.
legend, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Rosario Dawson. Yeah, you know what? I want more from
One of
her
New
career
York's
right
finest.
now.
She just had like a Marvel or DC movie come out on the HBO Max. I have not watched it.
No,
Maybe
neither
it's a
have
show.
I.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe she's in like that
She was in
Peacemaker
Kids.
thing. Kids.
Which is how I got to know Rosario Dawson.
I got to know her from Death Proof.
Okay, cool. The
Tarantino one.
Tarantino movie. Great movie.
Yeah. Good ass movie. Are you a big movie guy? Once again, Trade Coffee connects customers with the freshest and best tasting coffee they've ever made at home by partnering with the country's best craft roasters, dude. These are independent businesses from big cities and small towns. Trade customers are truly impactful for these independent roasters, often being the largest source of new growth for them. Dude, you know I'm all about growth. I'm all about growth. You know, my biceps, my traps. But I'm also all about my coffee, dude. And I'm not just some guy, dude. I French press it. Trade Coffee will send you ground. If you do French press, they'll send you French press style ground beans, but I like to grind it at home myself. So I get whole beans. I always have fun. I took the quiz that they identified what type of coffee I like, and guess what? They freaking nailed it, dude. I like a light roast, dude. Not too much flavor, just a hint of something subtle, dude. And I got bags that I enjoy. In fact, I just actually re-upped for my second shipment of like 3. Dude, you can do 3, 6, whatever, whatever's clever for you. It's all there on drinktrade.com. So just right now I'm fired up on it, dude, and I'm fired up on this Dank cup of Joe, and I love having a weekend cup with my Dank fiance. So, and the best part is Trade delivers a bag of freshly roasted coffee as whole beans ground, like I mentioned, for whatever you brew, right to your door, dude. And they guarantee you'll love your first order, or they'll replace it for free. So I'm just fired up on it, dude. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/dank. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/dank and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/dank for $30 off.
I was like a film school kid. I am like the craziest movie person.
I love
So when I was
movies.
a kid, this is one of the Staten Island has its own culture, and it's a very specific thing. But culture in general is in its strong suit, I would say.
Right.
Like great food, it's a great place to grow up. It's very cool. But if people a lot of people don't get out of Staten Island. They kind of get stuck there, and it's like, this is where I'm going to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I'm a Staten Island person. And then there's like a small group of people who are like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I started doing that when I was a kid. We go into like from like 6th grade on, we used to take the ferry over and go skate in the city every day.
That's
We get out of
awesome, dude.
school,
Let's
we
go.
get on the bus, we take the ferry over, we go to the Brooklyn banks, skate underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, we go to like One Chase Plaza, this rail screen. We do like all that kind of stuff. And then when I hit like high school age, college age, I started going to the city by myself with like my little fucking tweed jacket on and my Irish flat cap and my cup of coffee and Village
Yeah.
Voice under my arm. And I go see
Let's go.
I go see movies. I go to the Angelica, I go to the Sunshine, I go to Film Forum, and I would see like these weird art house movies by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it would like blow my mind. There was a movie chain on Staten Island growing up called Palma Video, and it was a video store, and I would go, I was like obsessed with movies as a kid.
Dude,
You get jumped enough time, eventually you become a person who's like, I'm going to stay inside and watch
exactly.
some shit.
What can I enjoy
Yeah.
in here?
Yeah. You become an inside
Watching a bunch of
kid after a while.
Taekwondo movies, like
Yeah,
Kung Fu movies.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. Oh, dude, what do you think of the new Batman?
I did not see it.
It's hey, you can stream it now. You
I
can
know
stream
it's
it.
on the Max.
You can watch it on
You
the
know
Max.
what? I don't want to watch a 3-hour should have been directed by David Fincher movie.
Dude, let me tell you right now, I was thinking the same thing going in. It's way too long. Is there stuff they could lose? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But it's fun.
Yeah,
fun.
I don't have 3 hours.
I agree. And I do.
And I do watch a 3-hour movie. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna watch like a Magnolia. I'm gonna watch Robert Altman's Shortcuts.
Yep.
I'm gonna watch like a fucking something that's like artistically like. Don't get me wrong. I also love a blockbuster. Give me Pirates of the Caribbean,
Let's
Captain
go.
Jack Sparrow. Give me Terminator 2.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
not like above
Give me some
superhero
Con
shit.
Air.
Yeah.
Give me, I
Yes.
love those old type of action movies.
Oh,
I'm gonna go
dude,
see
for
the
days.
Northman. I'm gonna eat that up. I'm a sword and sandal guy. I like that type of
Oh
shit.
hell yeah! I just watched like Marathon Man, the Schwarzenegger one.
Dude,
like
nice.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
So
The
good.
Running Man.
Running Man. Yeah.
Running Man.
Marathon.
Marathon
is,
Man's Dustin Hoffman
Dustin.
one. Also great movie.
It's a great movie. It's
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah. It's the like tail end of when Nazis could be the bad guys in movies.
Dude, yeah. Who was I talking to about this? Was it somebody mentioned? But they're like, Nazis are too old to be bad now.
Yeah, to still be around. Like
Yeah.
the last one, I think, was Spike Lee's Inside Man. That was like the last
Yeah.
movie where like you
Yeah.
could have a Nazi be a bad guy.
Did you see the movie Black Sea? About the submarine, they're looking for like lost Nazi gold.
No,
It's pretty good. It's
All right.
Jude Law.
Love a Jude Law.
Yeah, love me some Jude Law. Miss
Jude Law's-
Talented Mr. Ripley, let's go.
100%. During COVID, I did when we couldn't like go do anything. First wave, I dubbed my summer as European summer. And since I couldn't go do stuff outside, because I was supposed to be touring in Europe, I had like shows
Oh,
booked
no
for
way.
Switzerland, Paris, London. And so I dubbed it Europe, and I would just watch like European beach movies, south of France, stuff like that.
That's
like,
rad.
yeah. And so, and I did that until me and my girlfriend broke up, and then it went away. So it was about like 3 months of European summer in our house.
Did you ever see Vox Lux or whatever that was?
No.
It's a Jude Law. Is that what it's called, Aaron? With Defoe narrates it, and it's Natalie Portman. It's not that great. It tries to
it's
be
like her as Lady Gaga. Sort of.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
good
fine.
performances, but not that amazing. Dude, I'm freaking fired up. Anything else we're missing on Staten Island before we get into some questions?
I mean, I think the biggest, the two biggest things that are Staten Island history in my lifetime are the mafia history of
okay,
Staten
let's
Island.
hear a little bit. I'm glad I asked.
And the Wu-Tang Clan history of Staten Island.
Let's go.
Which is 1992, 36 Chambers dropped, which is possibly, in my opinion, to me, it's the most important hip hop album of all time. But I realize that it's, for most people, I would say it's probably top 5 best hip hop albums of all time. Enter the 36 Chambers, produced by the RZA with the original lineup of the Wu-Tang Clan, the RZA, the Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Deck, U-God, Ghostface Killah, and the Method Man.
Amazing. Amazing.
And subsequently, there's some great documentaries out there. There's a Showtime documentary about the Wu-Tang I'd highly recommend. There's a Hulu TV show, which I have not watched, but I hear is pretty decent about it. I would direct people there for their Staten Island Wu-Tang history content. But when I was a kid, that like changed everything. Like it put us back on the map. That and like the mob killing people.
Yes. The mob is what you would hear. I would always hear about the hits and the dumps and everything like that because we're in sanitation, that type of stuff. And I do remember listening to Wu-Tang. It was like my older siblings introduced me to them, and then my like most influential rap album would of course be Chronic 2001.
That's also up there. I had that as a kid, and that album was insane. You're a West Coast, so that's why.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's
both of those albums like very distinctly are the soundscape of what it feels like to be in those places. Like if you listen to the Wu-Tang 36 Chamber record, like that's what 1992 Staten Island, Park Hill projects, like all that kind of feels just like that. Stapleton, like I used to live in Stapleton. That's where a bunch of like Ghostface and all those dudes are from. And like that is the feel, like that grittiness of the sonic sound of that album captures it in such a like way that it's like, it's thick. Like you can reach out and touch it.
And that's a really great point too, is like just talking about culture. And we've been speaking about Staten Island's culture and the communities that they have, the ethnic communities and coming together at the high school. But the sound that comes out of it, like you have like a Manchester, New England sound, in like the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and we have Wu-Tang Clan from, representing Staten Island and New York. And are there any rock bands out of Staten Island?
New York Dolls were, David Johansen, the lead singer of the New York Dolls, is from Staten Island, which is like that early, like punk stuff. There was, when I was younger, there was like a like when I was in my early 20s and just moved back, there was a big rock and roll music art scene that was kind of blown up. Like we would throw gallery shows, rock bands would play, but nobody, like Staten Island was that place where if somebody had written one article about it, it could have blown up and been like, people were always like, this is the next Williamsburg, this is the next Brooklyn, like, and it just never happened. But like rents were cheap. We were paying like $1,200 for like a 4-bedroom, like massive house on top of like a cool ass coffee shop on the main drag. But nobody started a record label, so none of these bands got heard. And then it eventually all just kind of imploded because like these people went to go move to Brooklyn. These people kind of stopped doing the art stuff. People grow up.
And you know what? Even infrastructure plays a role too. Like there's only one bridge that goes there. You got to hop on the ferry. Like people just want to, for convenience, be on the other side.
Yeah, 100%.
Be in the mix. And it's close to the mix, but not quite.
Which is also what still makes it affordable.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like you can buy a condo right by the Staten Island ferry, like a 1-bedroom for like $200,000.
Dude, and look in LA, you got to go over the hill, which is like a nightmare commute. And you can be in Burbank. It's a little hotter.
Yeah.
But you know, fucking, you can get something real nice over here. In Los Feliz, it's going to be double.
Move to the Queens of LA.
I did.
Yeah, hey, Aaron's a smart man.
You have one more Staten Island export that's huge.
Gabagool?
No, the
Gabagool.
Impractical Jokers.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah. How the hell did I forget about
Good call.
Thank you. Yeah, so the
pranksters.
Yeah, my buddies, the homies. They basically have their own fucking TV network. True TV is basically the Impractical Joker network.
Yes, it is.
It's funny that I don't think about that because those guys. So I started stand up a long ass time ago. And when I started stand up, Sal from the Impractical Jokers gave me my first stand up show in the bar that he was a bartender at. So I've known those dudes forever, and I used to open for them on the road. And the four of them were all high school friends.
Love that.
And they've been friends since their freshman year of high school, and they're all in their 40s now, and they've been doing comedy together ever since.
That's rad.
So they were like a sketch comedy group who eventually turned, an improv group who eventually turned it, and like had a pilot on Spike TV. They had a pilot through like Carson Daly's company, and they had like these opportunities that never went, and then they had this last ditch effort where they were like, all right, they're looking for this kind of show, let's just make it. And I remember MTV offered them more money to make it and have it on the network all the time, but not have them on it. And True TV was like, we're going to give you less money, but you guys can do it. And they were like, we'll do that.
And what a no-brainer. Like,
Yeah.
it's so strange that networks want to do that. They like want the star power, I guess, from MTV. Like, we're going to put hot young people on it, whatever their model was.
They were just going to pick it was going to be different people every episode, like a different group of friends.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of interesting, but no.
Yeah.
What is this, a competition show?
Yeah, and then I guess if we're doing the arts stuff, or not arts, but like comedy stuff. So it's the Jokers. I moved back from Chicago in like 2007. And then there's a couple guys doing like improv stuff there. This guy, Kevin Devlin, Casey Jost, who's Colin Jost's brother, Tim Duffy, who now works over at Comedy Central, who like runs their whole digital department, like writes all the sketches, produces everything. So it was those guys. I started coaching their improv group. Then we started like having stand-up shows, and there was like a big stand-up scene happening, and then the Impractical Jokers kind of popped off, and then Colin was at SNL, and then there's this other dude named Jay Miller, who's this great comedian who started a late night talk show in the back of a bar. And all of us just started writing and producing this late night talk show, and we started doing it with like, we shot it on like 3 cameras. We would shoot sketches. We did the whole thing, and from that, like first it just started being like, like 20 people showed up at the show, and by the end it was like 150 people would show up to this bar called Martini Red where we do it, and we had to like live feed it out to the front bar because enough people couldn't get in the room.
Dude.
And we would book stand-ups. I would get like guys who I know from like Chicago who had moved to New York. Like we'd get like a Hannibal or like Jared Logan, Nick Vatterott. And then like guests on the couch would be like Colin Jost or like John Lutz, who was on 30 Rock and like wrote at SNL. And so that like kind of blew up. And then one of the other writers was like, we should start doing stand-up. So me and him started doing stand-up. I met this other dude there, John Zaluga, who's like one of my best friends. He works on Impractical Jokers. He's a producer there. We started a stand-up show in Manhattan. And there was like, I had a show at this place called the bar that Sal ran, which was called the Cargo Cafe. And I did stand-up there, and I would bring all the comics in from New York City. So anyone who's famous in stand-up now would take the ferry over. We'd get blackout drunk, drink all night. It was like a road gig, and then we'd all go back into the city.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's a cool upbringing. Dude, it is pretty great, man. It is a grind, and that's the trick to doing it of like, you gotta get your open mic licks, man. Like, you gotta go in there and do that shit. But then like, when you get to the point where you have friends in comedy and they sort of respect your game, I kind of make it a little bit akin to basketball a little bit, where it's like, you know when someone's funny. Like if you want to know who's funny, ask a comic, right? Like
Yes.
You're booking a show. So you're running your own show. Guys know you're funny. They want to come do your show. Then they'll be like, hey, I've got a show. Come do. Like, it's just, but it takes time to get there. And
100%. But then people see you. That's the difference. Like you have a show, you don't expect anyone to give you anything, but you have people on who you think are funny who are going to make your show better, so that your audience keeps coming back.
Totally.
And then you get better through having a constant show.
100%.
And then from that, they bring, people will be like, oh, I saw him have this great set. And when I had that show on Staten Island, the same 60 people would show up every 2 weeks. So I had to write, when I was starting out in stand-up, I would try to write a new 8 to 10 minutes every 2 weeks.
Damn, dude.
And I would do it. And I would riff and mess around. And every once in a while, I would repeat a couple of jokes. But it was always like...
it gets sharper. I mean, that's the craft. You gotta, something that's worked.
Yeah.
Tighten it. Fuck yeah.
And then I had the weekly show in the city where I could like fine-tune stuff, try new things, fuck around with my friends.
What a great city to do it in. I think more comic and comedian friendly. I mean, there's probably a reason why more comics come out of New York, of course, than LA.
I think the big difference is young comedians here expect to be famous already.
Yeah.
Where you go to New York to just be a good comic. So comics here are like, what's happening? I've been here 5 years. I should be famous. Like Mike Falzone put it this way, who's this great comic you guys should check out. He was like, if you're a 5-year comic in New York, you've done 5 times, you do 3 times as many sets.
Yeah.
Where comics here feel like, I've been doing it 5 years, why don't I get the same kind of shit? And it's like, well, you're not working as hard. Where like, if you're a comic in New York and you're in your first 2 to 5 years, or you have a show, you run a bar show that you put on with your friends, and you do a spot every week on that show, and you try to get up 5 other times, where like young comics in Los Angeles don't do that.
Yeah, they cruise around to a few mics here or there, or like you're not going to, for a while I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the Improv. Everyone who knows goes to the Improv, like Mike. Yeah. But it's like, no, you need to go to the shit bar show. You need to go to your buddy's bar show. You need to get your reps at all those places.
Also, the Improv's not going to put you on.
No, at least not when you first start. Honestly, I probably wouldn't go there for a year or 2.
No. Yeah, that's the thing with comedy. It's like, look, I'm lucky enough that like I'm passed at the Improv. They give me spots. Mm-hmm. But I don't get a shit ton of spots, but I get spots. They take care of me. But that being said, there's like 7 shows that the Improv themselves book as house shows. Yeah. So you're competing. So that means that and then they on those 7 shows, they have to have 2 or 3 people who are super famous who are going to sell out the room. Yes. Which means that for middle class comedians like myself, there are 3 or 4 spots on those shows. And in those 3 or 4 spots, you are competing against, so that's like 12 spots a week, say, or maybe like 15. You're competing against every other comic in Los Angeles. Yeah. Who is funny. Mm-hmm. And there are like, honest to God, probably like 200 really good comedians in LA.
I know. Dude, it's so competitive. It's why when you tell someone you're going to get into comedy, they go, okay.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You go, I'm going to need it.
Yeah. But also it's like, that's why more younger comics should have their own shows out here.
For sure.
They should just nut up and do it.
The model that you did and like sort of what I've done with my buddies, Chad and JT, is like you guys did your late night show at your bar. We started doing like sort of Impractical Joker type stuff, like going out into public and doing kind of pranks and character work and 100%. All that type of shit. So.
And that's what you have to do in this like day and age. If you want to make it in anything, you have to understand no one's coming to help you. You have to do it all yourself. And then if you're lucky, you'll find like in All Things Comedy who like put out my special, put out great podcasts because they were like, but this place is different because it was formed by comics.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you can't expect like somebody from Hollywood to be like, I'm going to pluck you out of the, No,
you don't get off the bus.
The only reason I ever got on television is because Bill saw a clip of mine, Burr, and then I got to do his Comedy Central show. I would have never got on TV otherwise.
Hey, but you're grinding and it all happens for a reason.
Thanks, man.
So, and it's really funny, dude, and I'm going to reiterate now before we do a few questions and then bone out of here because we're almost at an hour.
Sweet.
Is check out JF's special, All Things Comedy. Go to the YouTube page. Check it out. It's really funny.
Yeah, or you can go to my website and link through there, jfharris.com, or my Instagram's at the JF Harris. JF is the initials. And I'll be putting up clips every single day of it soon, once I learn how to edit on Premiere.
And I'll put the links to those in this episode description too, so this will be easy to find. All right, let's just do like maybe 1 or 2, then we'll go out of here.
You can do as many as you want, man.
Let's see how we go. We'll vibe. Strider, what up, dude? I come to the GOAT of relationship advice with a simple yet complicated question. What are some things I can do for my GF to make her feel more valued and loved? I just want to be able to do more in a relationship to make her happy. She always pulls off little surprises for me, like making me lunch or thoughtful little gifts, and most recently surprised me with an Easter basket even while she was out of town. I want to be able to step my game up and return the love and that she gives me. The problem is I'm not creative enough to pull off some of the things she does for me. I've done the basics like giving her flowers, etc. But what are some dank things I can do to make her to make things not feel like she's putting more into the relationship than I am? We will be traveling to Germany for a month together this summer, and currently I'm working 2 jobs, so saving money is the key at this time as well. You and Aaron are both the beasts, and any thoughts from you legends will be much appreciated. Kyle.
Kyle, I fucking love you, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Kyle, you're the man. You're already 90% ahead of the game on most dudes, where you're thinking like outside of yourself and about your partner and how to step it up because you appreciate what they do. So one, pat yourself on the back for not being a piece of shit. One thing I would recommend, there's a book, you can get it from the library. It's called She Comes First. It seems like you might already be on this vibe.
Yes.
But yeah, I would recommend that book. And that's just one way you could support her. You'd be like, hey, I heard about this book. It's about how to be a better partner to a woman sexually. And that, you'd be like, I just want to make sure that you are having as good a time in the bedroom as me. And you can get that book at any library. And it's an audiobook too. So that's one thing I would recommend.
That's a great call. And even just, one of the little surprises, like say you guys are out at dinner, little gifts are fun. One of the things my fiance remembers that I don't even really remember doing is I gifted her a book one time after a movie because like we were talking about something. So like gifts that show that you're listening, and it sounds like you guys been dating a little bit, but that still plays later on. Like think about something that she says in passing and it sounds like you're an attentive guy. Make a gift on that. If she's like, oh, a succulent would look good in our window, boom, you get a succulent.
Like a huge move is like, they say something they like, they see a book in a bookstore or something like that. You take a photo of it on your iPhone, you set a reminder, and like 6 months back, you go back and give them that book for like a birthday or something like that.
Clutch.
Yeah, that's always the move.
Clutch. Other great moves. She'd been working hard recently.
Make
Give her a
breakfast.
massage. Oh, baby, you make breakfast.
Breakfast is the move.
You show up, dude, literally on Fridays, my fiance works from home. I like to get up, treat her to the dog. She usually does the morning shift on the dog walk. I'll do that dog walk, come back with a latte. Baby.
Yeah.
Baby. That's all it is.
Yeah, it doesn't
Starting
have
the
to.
day off right.
Yeah, you don't got to spend big money to show a person that you appreciate what they're doing for them. You could just simply write her a letter saying all the things you just said to us, like a handwritten letter.
Yes.
And give it to her and say that you appreciate all those things in a handwritten letter. And then they'll be like, oh, that was effort.
Yeah.
Women appreciate effort.
100%. People, all people, and I'm paraphrasing this from something, I forget what it was from a movie, want to be loved for the things that they value in themselves, but most they want to be loved for what they don't see in themselves. So if you can love her in a way that she might not recognize in her, that's unique to you, Kyle, baby.
Boom.
And then when you go to Germany, butt stuff.
Kyle, also I'll say this because you're the man and you're this thoughtful. I don't know where you live, but slide into my DMs and I will give the two of you guys free tickets to come to a show whenever you want.
That is great. And they've been dating for a while. JF, that's a great gift because you're a very funny man and that is a worthwhile gift. But I think of any new relationship, I think a stand-up comedy date's one of the best things.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing what you laugh at and what each other laugh at is huge.
And takes pressure off that you don't have to have a conversation the whole time of like 2 hours hanging out, but you're not like watching a movie.
Yeah, you're getting drinks. And life hack for people that go to, sometimes you go to stand-up club and comedians might not like me for saying this, but you don't have to stay like super late. Like sometimes comedians drop in and you get super like lucky and it's cool that you're there, but also like you can watch a few comedians and close out your tab. Like,
yeah, you don't have to stay the whole night.
You don't have to do that. So
yeah, and also
chill.
Whatever city you're in, there's tons of very cool, very free stand-up shows, like the shows we were talking about started by those young comics.
And probably the best ones.
Yeah, you're going to see young, hungry, ready to kill it comics who are like so excited for you guys to be there. So I would say you could do that too. Also, any city that you're in is going to have a museum. A museum trip, always good. They're usually free or a free day, something like that. You know, if you're in LA, LACMA's got the outdoor jazz stuff coming up in a couple of days.
Yep.
It doesn't, you know.
They're doing like a immersive exhibits now. People do that like a Monet or like a Van Gogh immersive.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
Also, a romantic drive, top of a hill, make out at sunset.
Baby.
Yeah.
Sometimes even just for a nice little, just a make out. You've been in a relationship a while, just leave it at a make out sometimes.
Make out. I love a make out.
It's a nice move.
Yeah. Get all hot and bothered and then be like, tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
It's going to happen.
The anticipation.
Yeah.
We, you know, you can tell we're some theater guys. We like that build up. You know what I mean? All right, let's do one more, then we'll bone out. Is that cool?
Sure, we can do it.
JF,
100
you're the man.
more.
You're the man. All right, what up? Looking for advice from the seeker of Stoke and master of sticks. That's Aaron, dude. Sorry for the long queue. This one's about the same length as the last one. For context, I'm 21 years old and just got dumped by my first GF ever. GF and one of my best friends since middle school. We confessed our feelings for each other about a year ago, but started dating only 3 months ago. We are from the same hometown, but go to different schools, so we only got to see each other every other week. My former Khaleesi, I call my dank-ass fiance my Khaleesi, Game of Thrones. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I did not. I've watched the pilot, never followed through with
Khaleesi, what he means is his queen.
Yeah.
My former Khaleesi left me because she said she liked someone else, even dropped the L word. And to cut deeper into my insecure masculinity, that someone is a chick. So she thought she was straight her whole life, but recently caught feelings for a girl in her friend group. Although I am heartbroken, I am understanding of the situation, and from someone that cares deeply for her as a friend, I support her exploration of the enigma known as vag. Okay, so it's enigmatic, which means mysterious. Okay. But the point being is that I feel unable to maintain a relationship. I simped for a girl my freshman year who originally liked me and was interested in a relationship until she admittedly she loved someone more than me. She happened with my former Khaleesi. I believe this has happened because I have an overly loving nature. My GF told me she wants me to be chased, not the one being chased. How do I keep girls interested as time goes on? Should I curb my over-loving nature or hopes a girl comes along that just accepts it? Thanks and appreciate everything you do. I think he wants to be anonymous. So there's a lot going on here.
My guy. This is my guy. This was me at 21.
Yeah, dude, right?
This is 100% who I was. I was like a dude who was like, somebody love me. Please be in a relationship. I got to find the woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
My advice to you, my guy, would just be, don't worry about it. I know that's hard advice, but like, focus on your life and all the things in your life that will bring you joy and happiness. Take care of yourself physically. Read books. Go see movies.
Exactly.
Literally, do everything you would want to do that the things that being in a relationship sometimes make difficult to do, like literally spend the next 5 to 8 years of your life in your mid-20s, like go on some Tinder dates, have fun, do all that shit. But just realize, like, set up right now who you want to be for yourself and don't worry about outside people and connections and validations outside of your friend group right now and your family, because you will find a person in your life, but you want it to be when you are the most, like, I'm the shit. Like, you want it to be, like, in my special, we talk about this. The difference between me in my 20s and in my 30s, I literally talk about this thing, is in my 20s, I didn't have confidence. Now in my 30s, I have confidence. And I got that by living a life and, like, doing the things that I want. Like, you have to realize that anybody who's going to get with you, you have to view them as they're lucky that they get to be with you.
For sure. Yeah, you got to value you, dude, 100%.
And that only comes through doing work and taking care of yourself.
Exactly. Because once you put in that effort and that work, you are realizing the investment you're doing that as an individual, and you're valuing that. There's no way getting up, showing up for work, grinding at Mike's, producing that show with your friends. Like, when that offer comes to you from Bill Burr, you don't get what's that term where it's like imposter syndrome. You won't have that because you fucking have put in the work and you deserve it.
Yeah,
you know?
I started comedy when I was 20.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 39 on Sunday.
Yeah, dude, you're 2 decades in. Like, you are like a fucking CEO.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, you are, exactly.
And that's the same thing, like, when it comes to relationship stuff. Like, I've been in long-term ones, like 7 years. I've dated people for 3 months. And it's like, the best thing that has ever happened for any of those relationships is me being my healthiest, best self.
Yep.
Whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally. So it's like, if you want to find long-term love, dude, you're 21. And I know right now that feels like you're like completely grown up. But trust me, you're still at like
You're gonna change.
You're gonna change. You're gonna grow an exponential amount, and like just be excited for that, and just realize like you're gonna go out, you're gonna meet people, and just view those interactions as fun till you meet the right person who appreciates you for the way you are, and that will happen at some time.
100%,
Every experience is just practice for the next thing.
Dude, exactly. And I got to tell you, two things I want to address in this too is the fact that she left him for a girl. Bro, I think that's great. I got to tell you right now,
Yeah.
my biggest fear is if my fiance left me for a guy who's slightly taller, slightly funnier,
Twice the
slightly
size
better
of
looking.
dick.
Yeah, twice the size of dick as me, which still would probably be pretty small.
Yeah.
But it's like fucking, that's my nightmare, dude. The fact that she's living her life and experiencing things that she wants. It's the thing you never want to hear. Hey man, it's not you, it's me. Like in this case, it sounds like she's having her own experiences, bro, and she's in her 20s. So
it literally is not you. It's her.
Yeah.
She's doing her own shit.
And that's chill and good on her for telling you.
Yeah. Also, get the book She Comes First.
Yeah.
You know, once again, at 21, that book ain't gonna hurt.
And that will help you with your enigmatic vagina thing going on there.
Yeah.
It will help you out with that.
It's, you know, it'll change your life. And Come As You Are. That's another great one too. You know, read Esther Perel's Mating in Captivity. There's all kinds of fun.
Let's go,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Borrow a Nora Roberts book from my mom and read about hunky dudes.
Hell yeah, dog.
Dude,
Yeah. Just build good habits for your life, and then somebody will come into it who sees what you have and also wants to be a partner in that.
you'll be a value add. JT
Yeah.
says that, dude. Set the picnic table. How do
Yeah.
you do that? Everything JF was just laying out right there. Fucking, you know, reading the right books, exercising, developing just good habits. That's going to attract
Yeah.
people.
You want to know how to meet a girl? Be a good friend to your friends, and then they'll put the word out for you.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Show
dude.
up in like other women's lives in a positive way where you're not trying to fuck them. And they'll
Right.
be like, hey, you know who's a great guy that you should fuck? My friend Anonymous with this huge dick. And he knows how to make great grilled cheeses.
Oh,
You know, he
dude.
helped me paint my apartment, and he didn't try to fuck me.
Oh, it's just the best, dude. And cooking for like the grilled cheese. What's the movie with John Favreau?
Chef,
Bro,
which is a banging ass movie.
Great movie.
That is a great movie.
When he makes
John
the grilled
Favreau-
cheese in that movie,
It's
are
the
you
best.
fucking kidding me?
So there's a Netflix show called Chef Show, which is John Favreau and the amazing chef Roy Choi, who
Oh, yeah, Roy
trained
Choi.
John Favreau how to be a chef for that movie. And the two of them have a cooking show together, and they teach you how to make that grilled cheese.
Do they really?
Yes.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking great. That's what I'm talking about. 21-year-old dude. You got to watch these documentaries, see these TV shows, have things to talk about, know how to make a woman breakfast, those kind of things.
Exactly, bro.
But do it for yourself because you find these things interesting. Find your hobbies, the things you care about, dive in on them, be a curious person, have a routine, have a system so you're taking care of yourself. Know when you're stressed, know when you're like, you have to learn emotional intelligence and
Correct.
know like the things that are like, if you feel like you're coming on too strong, you're at least aware of that. Get into therapy, figure out why you feel like you need someone to fill that hole in you, that you can't just be enough, that you're like, I gotta have a girlfriend.
100%. And therapy is great. There's no wrong or right time to get into it. Get into it. Talk to people, dude. It's the best, dude. Doing comedy is slightly therapeutic. Like you're doing emotional mining. It's not the same, but it's like you have to think about yourself, how you're viewed, how you present that. So I'm a big proponent of getting into therapy. That's great advice.
Yeah. Only real men do it.
Yeah. It's the bomb. So, dude, fuck yeah, man. JF, this was awesome, dude. I think
So fucking fun.
sending out good vibes, great questions from both ends of the spectrums there. Dude, check out JF's special.
Yo.
Links are below. Let's freaking go. Staten Island. Next time in New York City, I'm taking the ferry.
Yeah, take the ferry.
I'm taking the ferry.
Go get a slice.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Greatest pizza. Or some of the greatest pizza.
I love that you fold that slice.
Baby.
Oh.
Rock that triangle.
Let's fucking go, dude. All right, beautiful. JF, thank you so much for being here.
Peace, guys.
Questions, comments, suggestions, always write in. Anything, shout outs for anyone. StriderWilsonShreds@gmail.com. Aaron, you're a freaking legend. Thank you as always, my dog. And stay stoked. We'll catch you guys on the next one.